chiropractic from a standpoint of, well, if I have neck pain or I have headaches or back pain, and yeah, we help people with those things all the time, and a lot of people come in for that. But honestly, when you truly understand the principle of how the body's designed to heal and about chiropractic and where health comes from, then you realize that the whole body starts to be restored, and there's completeness and wholeness there. And we know that comes through God and comes from God. And that's one of the main principles that we focus on in our office, is that the body is designed to heal because God put an amazing power inside each and every one of you, that you are designed to heal, that you have the greatest doctor in the entire world inside of your body.
Amen.
And the truth is that when you start to have a symptom, that there is a crisis going on, that you're in this, the red flags are being thrown up, that your body is saying, hey, please, 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 come find out what's going on. And so if you're having headaches, if you're having numbness and tingling in your arms, if you're having back pain or knee pain or even foot pain, whatever's going on there, your body's screaming, hey, help me find the answer to this. And that's really what we want to walk through tonight, is why your body would be having these symptoms and how we can help you. So the number is 877-778-6978.
And we're just going to start by going through the most simple process of how the body functions, how it heals, how it works. I mean, it's realistic. It's so simple that if you don't pay close attention, you're going to miss it. I mean, that's how simple it is. I mean, when the baby is in utero, the first thing to form is going to be the brain. Okay, so the brain forms, and from that brain, you have a spinal cord that comes down. And then from the spinal cord, you're going to have nerve roots that stem out of the spine, and at the end of every nerve root is an organ. And that organ is life in your body. Okay, so as long as the organs are functioning in harmony between your heart, your lungs, your kidneys, your pancreas, your liver, when all of that is functioning in harmony, we have homeostasis and we have health. Okay, so what that looks like from a functioning standpoint means that the brain is free of interference. It's sending signals down the spinal cord, it goes out those nerves, and it feeds life into every cell, tissue, and organ in the body. So this is what we're looking for. This is what we want to happen. The problem is not everybody has this. And when you don't have this and it's there long enough, you're going to start to get symptoms. So what can those symptoms look like? And that's the thing. And so people, you rarely do anything about your health until you have what, Dr. Rick?
Pain,
problem, symptom, something that's stopping you from doing something else. So symptoms can be, everything from a thyroid issue where you have hormonal problems to high blood pressure, neck pain, headaches, digestive disorder. How many people come into your office with digestive disorders?
I really think it's probably more around like 80%. That may not be the reason they come in, but so many people are struggling with digestive issues.
Yeah, absolutely. There's so many people that have been coming in, and it's not their primary complaint. Right. But as we start going through things, they start bringing up that they're not going to the bathroom every day. When we take x-rays of them, you can see the backup in their stomach and in their colon. And you realize, like, this is a huge problem. You have 75-80% of your immune system is going to live in the gut. And so if your gut is not right, if you're not going to the bathroom properly, then your immune system's not right.
Yeah.
If your immune system's not right, now you're at more risk for autoimmune conditions. And that so many people are struggling with chronic autoimmune conditions, and that's when your your immune system is just ticked off. It is upset.
Yeah.
Okay, and it all starts in the gut. Okay, if you're not going to the bathroom and you're constipated, you're holding on to more toxins. Now you're at more risk for cancer. You're at more risk for other things that are these toxic related conditions. So you have to get that fixed. And the answer is not just to take a medication, because that's the problem, is that when people have an issue, they have a symptom, you've been taught that you're supposed to go to the doctor and you take a medication. And you have to understand what drugs do. All drugs have side effects. All drugs are poison. Okay, all drugs are going to inhibit or stimulate a function. They're going to speed something up, or they're going to slow something down. They're all going to lead to a greater sickness and disease if you continue taking them, because they all have side effects. And from those side effects, you're going to be stuck with taking other medications to offset the side effects of the drugs. And eventually, if you take them long enough, you're now dependent on them. And your body does. So if I take an anxiety medication long enough, my body now becomes dependent on it. And when I stop taking it, do I feel good? No,
Nope.
Because I can't chemically make the hormones properly, because I've been so dependent on the medication itself.
Oh, and realistically, I mean, I think most people get that. Like we were watching TV the other night. There was some commercial in there, and people watch these and they laugh because half the commercial is all the symptoms, the possible side effects, and at the end of this, it says and potential death, and then it says this isn't the complete list of possible side effects, and like they had just went on for 45 seconds. Like people watch that and they know that these things are dangerous. The problem is, Dr. Chris, they think it's not going to happen to them.
And they're almost over, like, I don't know what the right word is, but like overstimulated by it because they've seen it so much.
Yeah, desensitized.
Desensitized to it. Like where if you took, like my 5-year-old, every time she hears something now, she's like a sponge. Like she's just soaking everything in. And when she would hear that for the first time, she would ask me tons of questions about that. Mm-hmm. I don't know that she's ever really heard that because we fast forward through every commercial or whatever. But if she would hear it, she would be like, Dad, what does die from this mean? What does, have more anxiety and have suicidal thoughts and, have a stroke? And like, what do all of those things mean? And if I had to sit there and explain what each adverse reactions to drugs truly meant, she would be like, well, why do people take those?
Right.
And and baby, they take those so they don't have back pain. They take those so they can lower some inflammation. They take those so their insulin's a little low. It's like, is there another option? Absolutely, there's another option. But guess what the other option takes? It takes effort. It takes knowledge. It takes, you've got to commit to something to get well, to get a better quality of life. Because guys, a better quality of life is out there for you, but you have to take it. It's out there. You have to take it. You've got to make a choice that you want to make changes in your life, that you no longer want to take medications, you no longer want to feel horrible, that you want to feel good, and you got to start to understand what are the processes, what are the steps to get me to feel good? How can I start making those changes? A quick story real quick. When I was at the coffee shop this morning, the lady said, how you doing? I said, I'm doing great. I just got done working out. She goes, I wish I could work out in the morning. And it was about 7 o'clock when I got in there, so I'd worked out at like 5:30. And I said, well, you can. And she goes, no, I can barely get to work. And so she started saying a few things. I go, all you got to do is change your story.
Yeah.
And she looked at me like, what are you talking about?
Yeah, who are you?
Yeah, who are you to tell me?
Here's your coffee.
Yeah, here's your coffee. Get out of here. But that's the truth, guys. You have to change your story. If you sit there and tell yourself you can never lose weight, you could never be happy without anxiety and depression medications, it's all your genetics, you're big-boned, whatever. Your mom and dad had headaches, so you're going to have headaches. It's your story. You've told it to yourself enough times that you believe it. And I'm guilty of this.
Right, we all are.
Yeah, so it's not, I'm preaching to myself too. I've got stories that I'm working on to myself to tell myself that things are not the way that I'm telling myself. But I want you guys to change your health story tonight. I want you to know that you can be well, you can be healthy. You don't got to rely on a drug for the rest of your life. But you got to get into the right people to help solve this problem for you.
Because part of the problem listening to that is our healthcare system as well. Because we get told that once you have a diagnosis, that's your life sentence, that nothing's going to change from there, that it's only going to get worse. And even if you look at a lot of these things, you can take lupus or cancer or even headaches, they say, we don't have anything that cures this. We're just trying to manage symptoms. Yeah. Like they know that. But we have a nurse in our office, and she said that she was in her clinic a while back, and she was in with a doctor and a patient. Patient came in, explained all these symptoms, and he goes, look, I'm just going to be real with you. You could change this by changing your lifestyle habits, but I know you're not going to, and you know you're not going to, so here's your drug. Yeah. And I mean, you think about when you go to a doctor and you're expecting help, and somebody that you look up to or that you trust or that you hope has the information to help you get healthy and well, and that's their response, that's not going to change your story. Like, we believe so much what doctors tell us that we buy into that, and you see this way too often. People who have suffered with things for years and years and years, that becomes part of who they are, that diagnosis. They actually hold on to that so tightly, and you see people that don't even know how to live a healthy life, and they won't let go of that. But what Dr. Chris is saying, that you have to change parts of your life, that if you want something different, you do something different. And like he said, you get in to see the right people. And that's what's so powerful about Max Living Offices and what we do in our offices. We see lives transformed and changed every day. Mm-hmm. We were talking about testimonies and on the way over here, and some people are really drawn to that, and some people aren't. But the truth is, we have so many testimonies in our offices. I mean, on any given day, I could take the first 10 people that come into my office, and I could give you a powerful testimony about each and every one of them, because their lives are changed by this. You take 100 people that come into our offices, and you take 100 people that just do the traditional medical route, and you compare them. Which ones do you think are going to be more healthy?
Yeah, absolutely.
You know, I mean, so there's science behind what we do, but there's also the testimony aspect, and just looking at people's lives and seeing how much better their lives are. People getting off of medications, people feeling better, people starting to have hobbies, and I mean, you know, we have this lady that was diagnosed with MS, and she had stopped being able to work and doing her passion, and she, you know, she starts getting adjusted. She has more mobility. The pain goes away. The burning, all of these things start to get better, and she opens up her own business.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, just think of how much that impacts somebody's life, and unfortunately, people are sitting there listening to this right now, maybe thinking, "Wow, that's not for me. I don't know that I can change my life. I don't know that things could be different." The reality is, it can be. You have to choose and be committed to it. But the number is 877-778-6978. You're going to get in contact with one of the 4 offices. Dr. Rick Royston, I'm in Plano. Dr. Chris Kordick is in McKinney. Dr. Aaron Wall is in Fort Worth. And Dr. Brian Hooten is in Addison, North Dallas area. You're going to get in contact with one of our offices. It's $40 for the exam, consultation, any testing that we need to do. If we do need to take x-rays, guys, there's a separate charge for that, but we'll let you know what it is before we actually take that. And to be honest, it's really nominal compared to really anywhere else you would go.
Yeah. So, and on that testimony thing, I think it's, you know, what I'm so drawn to is there's these huge testimonies of people that we have. You know, we have people that have lost 80, 90 pounds of weight in a year.
Right.
They've come off 6 or 7 different medications. Their marriages are better. Their headaches are gone. They're not in pain anymore. Their blood pressure's down. Their cholesterol's down. Their blood panels are like completely different than they used to be. And you know, you have these amazing testimonies. And then you also have the testimony of the person that had low back pain and can now sit at his desk at work and be more productive.
Right.
And now that the person can now go on a road trip with his family and not be in excruciating pain and awful numbness and tingling traveling down his leg anymore, because he can now do these small things that we take for granted, because you really don't know what it's like to live a day in other people's shoes, and we don't know how much pain other people are actually going through. And there's people that just struggle with everyday activities, or once again, the person that has a headache every day, that we're able to, you know, and even some people, the headaches don't go away completely. I mean, there's some people that they go from a 9 on the headache scale, and we get it down to a 4. But the quality of life for that person is absolutely amazing, you know, because now they can actually function with a low-grade headache compared to this really high-grade, massive migraine thing that's debilitating. And then and I'm just saying that, but most of the time, the headaches will start to go away.
Yeah.
Okay, they'll go away. You know, if you had a headache, I like to tell people this. So if I've got, you know, 3 headaches a week, the goal over that first month is to get you down to like 1 or 2 headaches a week. And then we start to lower the intensity of the headaches. The duration of them is not nearly as long. You don't have to run and take the prescription strength medication. You're not taking 6, 7. We've had people that take 9 to 12 Advil a day to get through the day. And that's just for headaches alone. You know, people that their digestive system is working better, because now we address the lumbar spine. We address the nerve roots that feed that digestive system. So when the digestive system gets better, the immune system gets better. So now, and low back pain gets better because all that's better. If you're a man, now all of a sudden you function better. Your prostate is better. You're no longer struggling, you know, with intimacy and those kind of things, because once again, it's blood flow, it's nerve root power, it's all of those things that are connected down there in that lower part of the spine, that if you address that, you realign it, you take the pressure off the nervous system, you allow the body to function, you allow it to heal to its God-given potential. And that is the thing. We want you to heal at your best God-given potential, but in order to do that, you have to find the interferences, you have to remove the interferences, and then once you do that, you start to change all these other aspects, and then you address nutrition. And then you start to address exercise and detoxing and taking the right supplements, and you know, you get on this higher level of things that you're doing, but it all starts with coming in, getting coaching by us, and then we address the nervous system. We start to take the pressure off the nerve roots, allow the body to function, And I mean, the sky is the limit from there, and especially just depending on what you're going through, but you'll never know how much we can help you if you don't come into one of our offices to get this checked out. And I think, like, let's go through some reasons why people wouldn't come in. You know, because it's kind of against the grain, to be honest.
Right.
Because most people, obviously, like we talked about earlier in the show, they live in a system that just thinks you're supposed to treat everything with a medication. And if a medication doesn't work, that's why we have surgery, because we can remove it.
Yeah.
We don't remove healthy organs, we remove diseased organs.
Right.
Ask your question, why was the organ diseased? It was diseased because it wasn't healing properly.
Yeah.
Why does the body not heal properly? It's because there's damage to the nervous system. What do we do in our office? We fix damage to the nervous system. So when you trace it all back, it goes back to stimulating healing in the body, so you don't have a diseased organ, so you don't have to have surgery, so you don't have to take medications. But, you know, within chiropractic, you know, people have kind of this perception of what it is, but if you listen to the show enough, hopefully you have a different perception of this. And if you could spend a week in our office and see all of the patients, I promise you have an absolutely different perception.
Yeah, we actually have been interviewing people, and we have them come in and do a working interview where they just hang out and you just talk to patients. You know, have them spend an hour and just talk to people. And, you know, I always ask, like, well, what did you get at the end of this? And it's crazy because the response is always like, wow. You know, I didn't know that there was a place like this where people get well and get off medications, and just the response is really kind of cool because they go, man, people here they love chiropractic, and a lot of them have been to other chiropractors and not seen the same result. And you know, a lot of them, what they get out of it is that the body was designed to heal, and not just, hey, they were here because their back hurt or their neck hurt, and that's so powerful. But it is a completely unique and different place. You know, we had somebody come in this week and who had been to a chiropractor before, and just like typical, and he's like, you know, I just wasn't getting the results, but listening to you and hearing what you guys do, it really seems like a unique and different approach, and it is, and that's why we get the best results. So we talk about correcting the nervous system, but adding all these other essentials in, you know, and I think too, just addressing this really quick, Dr. Chris, that you'd said, you know, why people don't come in or why they don't get care, you know, it's time and money. Those are really the two biggest issues. But those you can make into excuses, but excuses are never going to get you healthy and well. Mm-hmm. So I promise you, every single person that comes into our office that has an amazing testimony could have created a money problem or a time issue. You know, I don't have time to do this. I have too much work. I have to drive. My kids have this. We're all busy. We all have those things. And you can create an obstacle to you getting healthy and well. Money is another one of those things. I mean, you know, I had somebody the other day that actually laughed at how inexpensive care is in our office compared to what they had been doing, you know, with the testing and all of these other things they had spent money on and no answers, yet they come into our office and they have an answer. And they go, wow, now this makes sense. Now I know why my body's not healing, but I know what I need to do. But, you know, you start looking at what people spend money on, and, you know, there's the Starbucks habit. There's Netflix, there's, you know, all of these things that we all spend money on. Yeah, I mean, we got mine sitting right here. I get that, you know, and we all have those things, but what you have to do is really figure out what is most valuable to you in your life.
Let's disclaimer real quick what kind of Starbucks that is.
Organic Starbucks?
No. So he's not drinking a mocha or anything like that. There's no sugar.
It's just coffee.
Probably genetically modified, but it's just coffee.
It is just coffee. Yeah, we try to make the organic stuff at home. I don't think Starbucks has organic. But, you know, and so that goes to show, too, we're not perfect.
Yeah,
you know,
absolutely.
We're definitely not perfect, and we never try to set ourselves up to be. We just try to continue to get better and better and better, so that we can have better lives and set an example for you guys and for our families.
This is good. Let's run with this for a second. What's a vice that you have? Like something that you know is not good for you, but you still do each week.
This is definitely one of them.
Me too.
The Starbucks is definitely one of those. And it's become more of like the experience now.
Oh, absolutely.
You know,
like I love sitting at the coffee shop and just observing everybody, sitting there having I love the smell of my clothes when I leave Starbucks.
Yeah,
like,
exactly. Yeah, we have
my backpack smells
a couple
like coffee.
patients that work in coffee shops, and they come in, and when they do, I'm like, oh, I love the way you smell.
Love it. It's awesome. And so for me, it's like I would drink Starbucks every day if I would let myself.
Right.
Obviously, there's an enormous health benefit of having coffee. But when you do that, you want to have, you know, a mold-free, organic type of coffee if you're going to be drinking it every day. And where people get in trouble is that they put all the creamers, they put the artificial sweeteners, a bunch of sugar. I mean, they're like in some of these like caramel macchiatos and the different products that you can get from there is so much sugar and calories in there. You will never, ever, ever lose weight. If you want to lose weight and you want to reduce inflammation and you want to be happy and you are drinking those, you're setting yourself up for disaster.
Yeah, and if you're sitting thinking, oh, I don't have them that often, like when I was standing there waiting on my coffee today, I mean, those things were going out the window like crazy. Yeah. So I mean, people are buying them for sure.
And you know, even if you're trying to lose weight and you're trying to get well and healthy, you know, you've got insulin resistance that you've had for, you know, decades. Even one a week or one a month right now, it's too much. You just cannot do that. You will, you know, you're going to take a couple steps forward, and you're going to take 10 steps back every time you do that. So you have to make sure that you're not, you know, that you're not doing that.
My mother-in-law has this quote. She said, you know, you do things now that other people aren't willing to do, so that you can do things later that other people can't. And you know, she applies that to like business and life and stuff, but it's the truth about health and wellness also. You know, when you heard Dr. Chris just say even one a month is too much, you shut down. You just thought, oh, no, I can't do that. It's too much. But you know what? You may have to do that for 2 or 3 months and reset your system, reset your hormones, and get your body back to it. And then, you know, to be honest, we have an 80-20 rule where 80% of the time, if you're eating clean, you're eating healthy, you're eating the right things, then every now and then you can have a treat. You can have one of those things that you love and indulge. That's okay. Most of the time it's flipped. Like we eat 80% horrible junk, and then 20% of the time we might try to throw a salad in there or throw an apple in. You can't do that. But you can indulge in some of those things that we call vices or call, you know, those treats or whatever. When you're doing the right things, it's okay. Your body can handle it at that point. But what Dr. Chris is saying, when you're in a crisis and you have diabetes, cancer, heart disease, you're trying to lose weight, you have chronic inflammation, there's a disease, you're trying to get off of medication, then you know what? You're going to have to go cutthroat, just drastic, over the top for a period of time to reset your system. But by doing that, you feel better, you get your life back, you see these changes, and then you can slowly add some of these things back in and feel like, you know, you're living a normal life.
And you're committing, you know, you commit to it. And each year, like my health habits, my hygiene habits, I mean, all of this stuff has grown more organically over the last 8 years.
Yeah.
It wasn't, you know, year one, I switched my deodorant, I switched my toothpaste, I switched all my soaps, my wife switched her fingernail polish and all her hair products and her makeups, and you know, and then everything in the fridge was non-GMO, organic, and pasture raised, and it was like a little bit better each week, and then we're gonna go with that momentum, and then the next week we're gonna get a little bit better, and then oops, we spent way too much at the grocery store. Like, okay, we got to figure out, and we let all this produce go bad because we were trying to eat everything organic, and we weren't even used to eating at home, and we had all this salad stuff and all these vegetables that went bad. We didn't even get to eat them. So you're going to learn how to do this, but you know, this is something that we walk people through in our office. And you know, when you walk in here, it's a different experience, Dr. Rick, when you come into our office. I mean, like when you come into our office, the music's blaring. It's Christian music. You may or may not love it. I don't know. Hopefully you would love Christian music if you're listening to the radio show. But, you know, it's loud. I like the music loud. It helps my vibration.
Right.
We have, you know, we play like Netflix food documentaries all day long up front. And then in the back, we have different educational videos that we play, like while the people do their therapies and things in the back. And so you can see different workouts. You can see different recipes. Our staff, we're constantly giving people recipes. You know, if you like us on Facebook, you know, Dr. Rick Royston or Chris Kordick, if you like either one of us, you know, you can start to see videos that we produce and different recipes and just all types of different things on kind of insights of how we live our life. Like, what do we juice? How do we make smoothies? How, you know, the different sauning and things that we do for our health. You know, we try to give people that insight into what we're doing. And our patients every day, you know, all the time patients are coming in with like a list of questions. Like literally they have a list. And they're like, okay, doc, I got this question for you. You know, when I eat these eggs, should I make sure that they're pasture raised or should they be cage free or what should they be?
Yeah.
So they'll come in with all these different questions. And so we'll help you get to the point where you can learn how to have a healthier lifestyle, okay? Then we're gonna help you get to a point where you can learn how to make sure that your body's functioning and that it's healing correctly. And so, the people that we're talking to tonight, Dr. Rick, I've noticed that most people come in with a symptom, okay? I wish that people would come in without a symptom and say, hey, doc, I just wanna get healthy and well, and I want to get my family, my kids adjusted for the rest of my life, because I understand the power that God gave us in this innate intelligence, and I understand that if my spine is in the right position, my body's going to heal.
Yeah.
Because that's truly what it is. That's how I understand it. That's how you understand it. And our patients that are lifetime patients, that's how they understand it. And that's what we really like. But I understand the simple fact that most people that come in, you've got a symptom. That symptom is stopping you from doing something you love. The pain is too bad. It's not going away on its own. Okay, so if that's you, realize that there is an answer. The answer is to call in. It's to get an appointment to one of our clinics. Here's what it's going to look like if you come in. So you're going to call the number. It's 877-778-6978. This is Max Living Radio. You got 4 offices. Myself, Dr. Chris Kordick, I'm in McKinney. Dr. Rick Royston here tonight is in Plano. And then we have a Fort Worth and a Addison office. So you can come to any 4 of those offices. When you come in, you're going to feel the different vibration than you normally feel. You're going to see people on all types of different things warming up before the adjustment. You're going to see a lot of people getting adjusted, high energy type of place. And then you're going to get your exam. Okay, when you get your exam, we're going to go through an exam, a consultation. Some offices we're going to use digital thermography. We're going to use different things we need to do to analyze the spine. When you call in over the phone, it's $40. That covers that initial exam. If we need to take x-rays from that point, there's an additional fee, but we'll go through that with you when we figure out exactly what we need to do. And then from that point, we're going to set you up with a time to come back. We're going to get to work on you. We're going to show you the process of how we're going to get you well, how your life is going to be radically different when you start to take responsibility for it. You got to call the number. It's 877-778-6978, Max Living Radio. God bless you guys.
I just got health